to previously being here for one of our panel sessions a few days ago, and I'd like you to join me in giving her a massive round of applause as we welcome her onto our stage today.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlot Magayi. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm not the best at storytelling, but I'm gonna try the best I can. I grew up in Mukuru. It's one of the largest slums in Nairobi, and by 10 years, I was already a total orphan. At 16, I ended up becoming a teenage mother, which meant I had to drop out of school to figure out a way to fend for myself and my young daughter. My first job was selling charcoal, and it was also the only fuel I could afford. I earned $1 a day, and there were times when I was paid in charcoal, not cash. And so, as that is what we used at home, my daughter and I kept suffering from respiratory tract infections. And when she turned 2, she suffered a severe burn injury resulting from the traditional stove that we were using. Now, this sparked my interest in providing a better cooking technology for my community. At first, I just wanted to build a stable stove to limit the risk of burns in children under the age of 5. And so I saved and I did more odd jobs, and I finally managed to make enough for tuition. I enrolled in an adult school where I learned about the impact of household air pollution, the high cost of fuel, and burns in children. So then I set out to design a stove that would solve all 3 problems. Up to that point, the only thing I cared about was burns in children, because that was a personal problem for me. Now, as I was doing this, I realized you need business acumen to sell stoves, no matter how amazing they are. So I joined my first accelerator, and while there, I got a scholarship to attend a conference. Now, I was very excited for the opportunity for 2 reasons. One was because it was going to be my first opportunity to leave my country and see another place, a dream I never thought I could dream. And 2, because I had a really good plan. I was going to raise $1 million and get into the next 100,000 households. Easy peasy, right? Except it wasn't. So I booked meetings with a lot of enthusiasm, and as I walked out of each one, my heart was breaking because no one was buying my story, no one was impressed, and more importantly, no one was willing to invest in me at the time. Until my final meeting, I met this very old white dude, and he was like, I think I understand the problem, and I know what you're trying to solve, but I cannot give you $1 million, which I really wanted. What I can give you is mentorship. And so for an hour, every single Monday, for a year, I sat on calls with him. There are times when I hated him because he was pointing out the things I didn't know, and times when I loved him because he was teaching me Excel formulas, which apparently you need to run a business, and storytelling, which you need to woo investors. And God, I hope I'm doing a good job right now. After a year, he became our first debt investor, still loving my business enough to give us debt-free investment, but also introducing us to other people who could provide financing for us. Now, the reason why my business needed investment was because nearly 3 billion people across the world are impacted by the impact of household air pollution. And this results in 4 million deaths every single year. The numbers are staggering, and they just keep rising, especially with the impact of household air pollution. Women and children are the most impacted because they spend up to 3 hours every single day fetching firewood, cooking, and doing other things around the kitchen. So I wanted to solve this with our stove, not just for me, but for the young girls who would come home from school with their brother. And while their brother was allowed to play and do their homework, their job was to go into the nearest bush or forest to fetch firewood and cook for their family. I wanted to help them reduce the time there. And so I founded Mukuru Clean Stoves. And what we do is we use recycled metal to manufacture improved cookstoves locally. And then we partner with local women business owners who distribute to the very last mile. Now, these stoves are just $10, but that is still a lot for a community that earns $40 to $100 monthly income. And so we have come up with different ways to help them afford these stoves. And the women who sell our stoves within these communities are the reason why we are able to distribute our stoves. Now, for the last 6 years, we have distributed almost 450,000 improved cookstoves, impacting the lives of 2 million Kenyans who now benefit from cleaner air within their homes, creating 107 green jobs, and enabling women to earn 400,000 US dollars in commissions. Our stoves have also helped avoid almost 1 million tons of carbon emissions. And over the last 6 years, families have been able to save close to $50 million in fuel consumption costs. Now, as Charlotte Magayi, I believe there is a privilege that comes with abundance, the privilege that allows you to dream beyond your stomach, beyond your village, to dream big. And I have been dreaming. And so I'd like to tell you a story, and this is perfect because the children just walked in. I have a daughter, like I talked about, and she is 13. She just turned 13. She's taller than me. It's kind of annoying. But so I'm cooking at 6 p.m. in Nairobi, and my kitchen is safe now. My daughter is scarred, but healthy. And so I no longer feel anxious about inviting her into my kitchen to help me cook for the family. Now my phone lights up, and she picks it up. She reads it out loud. It's a report by the CDC stating that people are still catching malaria even when they have access to mosquito nets. And the assumption was they're either not using the nets at all or they were catching malaria just before they go to bed. My daughter looks at me and asks, "What are they doing just before they go to bed, Mom?" And because she's my daughter, she's like, "Oh my God, they're using your stove to cook." She makes it my problem that people are catching malaria. And so as we're making dinner, I wonder, are there malaria interventions associated with cooking? And if not, could we make one? 11 months later, a patent-pending, first-in-the-world mosquito-repellent fuel created by me and my 13-year-old daughter, we just sold the first few bags in the last month. That's our new product. Thank you. Now, Mukuru Clean Stoves is banning a cleaner, healthier, greener world with the help of young people in Kenya, in Ghana, and the different parts of Africa that we work in. We're providing them with an efficient stove, which, when burnt alongside our fuels, give them a formidable barrier against energy poverty, household air pollution, and malaria. And I have been doing this work for the last 6 years, which should be impressive, but I'm still trying and failing to impress my daughter. Thank you.